Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Quit Your Bitching podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ian, and with me is my co-host, Nick Harrell. What's up, dude?
What's going on? Thanks for coming back and joining us for another episode, guys.
So how you doing, Nick? You doing good?
Doing great, man. You know, I think one of the best, well, at least one of my favorite parts about quarantine is I finally feel like I have more time to exercise and work out.
Yeah, I've been trying to work out a little bit. Dude, it is funny though. When I work out, well, let me start off with this. Let's start off in this place. I'm just gonna let you know how I feel, people. Let me just say this. When you are working out on Instagram with your 5-pound weights in your backyard, doing some push-ups and you're doing some like weird squats with 5-pound weights, you're not motivating anybody. You are not making anybody change their mind about working out. When I click on Stephanie's Instagram page and she's doing air squats saying motivated guys, motivated, stay motivated, no one gives a fuck, Stephanie. No one cares about anything you have to say about working out because 1 week ago you said, I can't wait to go to Lake Havasu topless. So no one cares about what you have to say.
Look, it's just because you started working out 3 days ago, that doesn't mean you're an Instagram fitness influencer now. You probably just stopped eating Domino's pizza 3 days ago, dude. Don't hashtag fit for life.
Dude, there are so many people, everybody on my Instagram. I mean, maybe I'm following the wrong people, but everybody on my Instagram is doing like home workouts now. It is disgusting. These people have never worked out. They don't know how the gym works. They're just doing air squats in their backyard and they're filming it so other people can see it. I guarantee it, dude. Let me tell you, people, this COVID-19 pandemic is going to break so many of you. So many of you were just like, this is my year. All the holidays fall on weekends. We're going to get trashed. And then COVID-19 is like, no, not this year. 2021 is your year, boys. Not this year. You know how many people are going to come out fat as hell? You know how many people were like, this is my year. I'm going to get fit. And then God's just like, no, not this year. You chubby son of a bitch, not this year. It's next year. Show me you want this. You need to show people that you wanted to get in shape. This is what you need to be doing. You need to be outside running, people. Because you just started off with a little bit. You said January, you said 2020, my year. And then you ran for like a couple days. You went to the gym for like a couple days. And then boom. God was like, prove you really want this. Mm-hmm. Start working out outside. Film it in your backyard so all your Instagram followers can see it. Prove to everyone that you're in shape. It's just disgusting, dude. I'm getting so sick of it. It's not motivating me. No. It's just demotivating me.
No. Especially like, it's like when you go to the gym and the personal trainers there are overweight and they're not even buff.
It's my favorite.
Or they're not even fit. You're like, why would I ever want a lesson from you? And it's like, well, it's like this, man. This is really separating the kids from the adults here, you know? Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks that if only they had more time, they could spend all day working out just like the movie stars, you know, just like Thor, just like Chris Evans. And then the government gives you all the time in the world and you're just sitting on your ass eating Doritos.
With your 5-pound weights. I love the people too that are just like, I work out every day, I miss the gym, and all they have at their house is 5-pound weights. Yeah. Like they've never actually worked out. No. You would have more workout equipment if you actually worked out at home. Like you would not just have some 5-pound weights that you stole from your grandma's house that she used to walk around the mall.
Yeah. Like, and you know, we're not discouraging anybody. I think everybody we both think everybody should be exercising right now. Just don't go on Instagram and act like you've been a personal fucking trainer for the last 3 years because 7 days ago you decided that exercise was a good thing. You know,
when this whole thing's over, dude, I'm going to open a gym and it's going to be like an old prison. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a gym inside like a jail. And you're just going to have to go in. It's going to be called the Yard.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to go in, and all you fat people, you're going to have to open the steel doors, and there's going to be yard like noises. There's going to be just clinking and clanking everywhere, and just a bunch of no nice weights. I'm talking pig iron. I'm talking the weights that have been outside for years, and there's just rust and dirt on them. And you're going to have to work out with convicts, because mostly convicts are going to go there.
They're all the personal trainers are ex-cons. Just so massive from years in the pen. Dude,
that's what I'm going to do.
When you sign up for this gym, they're going to give you a full pat down. You have to place all your items
cavity
in a
search.
bin. They're going to cavity search you for all those little Hershey's Kisses that you have stuffed in your pockets.
It's going to be like the show Biggest Losers and Beyond Scared Straight mixed into one show.
Yep.
You're going to have to it's going to be like a family member is going to come to somebody and be like, look, man, we really just think that you've given up on life. So we signed you up for this course that you can't leave because it's pretty much prison. And then he's going to get into like the weird bus that has all the bars on it. And he's going to drive into an actual like opening the prison doors, and I'm just going to be screaming military style at him. And there's just going to be dudes doing push-ups and sit-ups and different rival gangs everywhere. And you got to navigate the yard while just trying to get the handball court in. Like, it's going to be a 60-day program. I'm going to change people's lives, man, with this.
Look, if there's anybody out there who has no time for your bullshit, it's a ex-inmate. He knows how hard it is, dude. He's been in there for years. He's going to whip your ass into shape, and he ain't going to hear none of your shit.
You're going to sign up for my gym, and the moment you sign up, it's just going to be some dude who's just a security guard in but he's going to have like an actual prison uniform on. And then he's just going to turn around and be like, this is your cellmate, DeMarcus. And DeMarcus is going to be 320. He's going to be roided out of his mind. All he knows how to do is make shivs and get the best food out of the kitchen. And then you're going to go out into the yard, and he's going to be making you do push-ups in the dead grass, running the bocce ball court. Mm-hmm. He's going to get you in shape. And then that's your personal trainer. That's how I'm going to make my money, because you're only going to hire convicts. Mm-hmm. And these convicts are just going to work out all day long with you.
He's going to be as big as that dude. What's the actor that plays like the main inmate in The Green Mile? He's just like...
I never saw that.
Dude, he's like a 6'6", 350-pound African-American guy. He is literally a giant. That's going to be your trainer.
It's just going to be like, what motivates when people go to the gym? Here's the problem with the gym. You go to the gym, and so many people just walk around the gym and they have no idea what they're doing. They're just doing the one thing they know how to do because they saw it on YouTube and P90X. And so they're just like, they're confused. So with the Yard, which is pending, everyone, and for... You know what? You can't steal that idea. Yeah, you can't steal that idea because it's pending. The Yard, the moment you go in to the jail, you're teamed up with your cellie. Now, your cellie is someone who works there, but he was incarcerated, and now look at him. He's yoked out of his mind. He just does sit-ups all day. So the whole time you're at the gym that day, you're with somebody, and he's motivating you. And then... I don't know if they get into like almost like by races, so they all stick together, and then one's kind of making sure no one comes up and stabs you guys from behind. I don't know. I maybe a prison riot will happen every once in a while. I'm talking guard towers, people, and I'm talking people with just standing above you. You're getting the full prison experience. You know how people in LA would pay for that, dude? If people are going to goat yoga, people will pay for a prison experience. So many people would just be like, yeah, I work out at the Yard. And they'll be like, what's that? And they'll be like, it's a realistic prison where I work out and get ripped with all these dudes. Dude, people would eat that up.
Dude, for sure. If you think you're gonna, if you've never been to a gym, and you think you can go in there and just know what you're doing to get in good shape, you don't, dude. You need somebody to, one, motivate you, two, show you what to do to get the results you want. And you need somebody to push you.
And that's what I'm saying. You're going to pay thousands of dollars in LA for some dude named Chad to show you how to do push-ups and sit-ups? No, bro. You just need DeMarcus. You need Evans. You need all of these dudes who all they do is push-ups. I'm talking, they got trash bags full of water in their cell for hours just doing burpees. They're doing everything, dude. These people will get you ripped. I will get you ripped, people. I just need an abandoned jail and about 30 inmates, and I'll get America ripped. I'll fix it all.
Dude, you're giving jobs to ex-cons.
I'll go to jail. I'll recruit people. I'll walk the yards. I'll find the biggest guys and I'll say, come work for me for $15 an hour right when you're out.
I love it.
I mean, that's how you fix America, people. You go to the source. I'm sick of going to gyms and seeing these people that are just sitting on their phones on the ab machine who don't even know how it works. DeMarcus will get you in shape.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Nothing more frustrating than the dude who has just been on the same machine that you're trying to use for 25 minutes because he spends 20 of those minutes texting his mom back about how he's going to go pick up groceries after he's done. Dude, get off.
Dude, I love it too when I'm at the gym and somebody's watching a YouTube video on how to do something at the gym Like he's seriously like taking up one full bench to prop up his phone to watch some dude who's like Tony Robinson looking motherfucker who's trying to show him how to do a perfect sit up. Oh, dude, that just drives me.
Do your homework before you get there. Don't waste everybody else's time.
Dude, hopefully if we can ever go to gyms again, who knows if we're ever going to be able to go to gyms again anyway. You've been watching anything lately when you've been during quarantine? Have you been catching up on any shows lately?
Catching up on any shows? What have I been watching? I started watching that show called Hunters. You seen that?
That's the one where they kill the Nazis and everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah, dude, it was too gruesome. The first episode, I just couldn't. I turned it off. I couldn't do it.
It's a good show, man.
Dude. That's just too much for me. I was like, I got kind of into it and I was like, all right, this is cool. But then I was like, I don't know about this. I was talking to you earlier about this, but I didn't know if you remembered, but we were talking about how I've been watching Gator Wrestling online. For $5 a month, people, you too can watch Gator Wrestling. It's GatorWrestling.com, and then it's in the middle of like Florida, which obviously it's in Florida, but there's 5 wrestlers and all 5 of them pick different gators, and who does the best wrestle wins. It's pretty cool. They win like $100. They don't win anything.
That's it. Yeah. They're putting their lives on the line. They're literally, their appendages could be gone.
The best part too is he like jumps on this gator, right? Like he does like a sumo, like flies on top of this gator, and you can pick your side. Dude, here's the thing that I think would make the show even better is if you go out into the swamp and you find a gator, you bring that gator back to your arena, and then you wrestle that gator, because I feel like all the gators have been wrestled so much they just kind of like know what's going on. You know what I mean?
They're not fresh every time.
Yeah, no, they're not fresh out the lake. They're just chilling. They're sunbathing. He throws a bunny out. It eats it. Then he jumps on it and he like puts his hands in its mouth and he's kind of like wrestling it and it starts whipping its tail and he's like kind of riding it a little bit. But I'm saying I want them to go out and get like an actual gator that's never seen a person. And it's just like, why is this man jumping on me? Let me gator roll this guy over. Show him who's king of the water.
Throw some bait into the water. Let him come to you. He has no idea.
They're smaller gators. I actually didn't know that much about alligators first of all, alligators and crocodiles. These are all alligators. Crocodiles, I think, are the ones that are in Africa. They're like the big ass ones that eat zebras and shit. So that's what I'm saying. I want you to get some crocodiles. Like, I want you to build an arena in the middle of Africa. I want you to grab a crocodile straight out the Nile, throw it in that pen where you're going to fight it, you're going to wrestle it, and I want them to wrestle that. Because I feel like these backwoods boys, I mean, they've been wrestling those alligators probably for what, like 10 years? You know what I mean? Those alligators are used to it.
Probably.
You gotta show me wildlife that's not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's more exciting to me. If
Yeah,
I'm
their
gonna pay $5 a month,
fresh.
Exactly.
They're hungry.
They're just. It's still survival. You know what I mean? Like it's still just like that's why I want to create my own show where it's like man wrestles nature. So, but it's like, and obviously you'd be like the co-host of it, right? You and me would like fly over the ocean, and then like what we would do is, so like if we had an episode where we're gonna wrestle a shark, right? And I'm not talking.
That's obviously the first place you would start.
Well, you gotta get the first episode has to entice people.
Mm-hmm.
So
pilot.
The pilot has to be like, look, this is where this dude might not come back to his family. Like this dude is ready for death.
The first scene of the episode is you just writing your will.
And I'm just like, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Animal versus Human. And this episode, and then like it shows me with a lawyer like writing out my will. I'm giving everything away because I'm not assuming I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And then but I mean, wouldn't you agree shark is like the number one animal? Like if you turned on a show and you saw man versus nature and it was a dude, like wouldn't you want to see him wrestle a shark, first of all?
Oh man, I mean, there is nothing that would grab your attention more on the first episode than a shark. You'd be like,
exactly.
Who is this guy? I need to watch this. Record that shit on your DVR, man.
It would probably only be on like YouTube because nobody would want to pick up the gruesome killing.
The liability for this show through the roof. No one's picking. You're out there with like a high schooler with a webcam, like trying to capture this.
The best part too is, so like the first episode would be me like at an airbase, and I'd be like, welcome to another episode of Man vs. Nature. In this episode, I will find a 13-foot great white shark and I will submit it. I will tap it out. And then you're just like, what is this guy thinking? And so then you're going to be like, well, okay, Ian, you're in the ocean. How are you going to tap out and how are you going to corral a shark? Okay, good question. Here's how that works. We have rented 2 Black Ops helicopters. They will be flying over the ocean. Me, you, my lawyer, obviously, and then a medical team that's ready to go in for like a triage team to just like swoop me up. And they're going to be like, I've hired mercenaries. Like these people are ready to give their life to jump in front of the animal, almost like a rodeo clown, but mercenaries. So we're flying over the ocean, right? And then there's me, and I'm just like, we are flying over the South African Ocean, the #1 feeding spot for the great white shark. And you're just like, dude, this guy either owes so much child support that he's just done whatever it takes to just pay these bills off.
He just has a stack of IRS letters on his dresser back home.
Just some agencies just like, there he is. He's in Africa filming some wildlife show. So I've been fleeing the States forever. And so
so many loan sharks have your number.
Exactly. So what we have here is one Black Hawk helicopter is holding almost like a UFC cage. And now in this UFC cage is just one door where I enter. So it's almost like a shark cage, but it's a UFC cage. It's like an octagon. We have sponsorships all around. There's no way for the animal to get out. It's a bigger cage. Let's say it's probably like 20 by 20 foot. It's a big cage, right? So then what we do is when it drops into the water, it goes down about the 20 feet and closes on the bottom. So we know we got that son of a bitch. So then what we do is the shark, we trap the 13-foot shark, right? Well, I guess if it's 13 foot, let's say it's an 8-foot shark. 8-foot shark in a 20-foot cage. So it's like an octagon. Drops it down. Then what we do is we drop chum in the water on top of the cage. It's getting the shark good. It's getting ready. The shark knows it's feeding time. I am just in some UFC trunks. That's it. I jump in the water, enter the cage. I want some sick walk-up music. I'm talking like Eminem's gonna record a song for this somehow. Like it's gonna be lit.
Like Limp Bizkit is making a comeback just to do a song for this.
Biscuit's doing the song My Way, but better. Just like a better remix of it. So you're thinking to yourself, Ian, how are you going to submit an 8-foot great white shark? That's a great question. So what I'm going to do is when I go in just in my UFC trunks, I'm going to try to jump on its dorsal fin and then try to flip it over. Now, I'm going to say underwater, I'm assuming that's not possible, but I'm going to try. So I'm just going to try to tap out every animal I can find. I don't know if I need to get like almost like a lasso system going where after I lasso it, I can try to hog tie it underwater.
Just going for the classic chokehold.
Yeah. So I think land animals, I can go for the chokehold. But with sea animals, because I'm going to have a sea animal season where I just go after all the biggest sea animals I can go. So I'd probably go after a mid-sized dolphin. I would probably try to go after, not a stingray because that seems unfair. What other sea animals could I go after? I'd probably try seals. Seals are pretty intense, right? They have like teeth and stuff. Yeah, I don't know why a shark seems less intimidating than a seal, but for some reason they seem elusive. Seals seem like they're slippery and they're elusive. For some reason, sharks, I feel like I can just grab it and just hold on to it.
Like an adolescent killer whale.
It's like Free Willy and Blackfish put together because it's just one crazy guy. What I do is at the end of every episode, I rip a tooth out and I make a necklace. So by like season 7, I just have a necklace of teeth of all the animals that I have just submitted. So I go around the entire world just submitting, just proving that man, once again, without a gun is the ultimate predator.
Yeah.
So what we do also in Africa is we would drop this UFC style cage onto like different animals in the Serengeti, and then I would just come in just UFC trunks charging after these animals. You know what I mean?
You just become known in the animal kingdom as the devil dentist. You're just taking their teeth.
I think mostly I would just be in like the UFC, but it would also be jean shorts. Like I would be in some work boots and some jeans, like a very John Cena style. And then what I would do is I'd have celebrities that I tag in.
Yeah. That's what I see if you're in Florida wrestling gators. You're just in like cut off jean shorts and like a huge belt buckle, and that's it.
That'd be so sick. Yeah. I would just be.
You just have like a Budweiser handkerchief.
Just 2 Black Hawk helicopters flying over the swamp, and they just drop this UFC style cage on a gator that's just sunbathing, and then a man jumps out of the Black Hawk helicopter and is just like, "On this episode, I'm going against a 300-pound croc," and then just like Joe Rogan's just announcing it from the safety of his house.
I'm just imagining a jaguar in the middle of the Serengeti, like slowly approaching a ladder and just sniffing the ladder, and then the camera pans up and you're just on top of the ladder ready to body slam this jaguar.
I'm about to give Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, you're just slapping your elbow at the top of this ladder.
I'm just on the top of it like the ropes, just ready to go. Got to jump on this thing. Well, I mean, that's what Tiger King showed me that, like, dude, anybody, if a methed out dude who's just giving meth to straight guys to get them to marry him can touch tigers, I can fight tigers. I mean, this dude's he has a walker. He has a walker because he like hurt his leg, and he's out there. He's petting the tigers, sleeping on the tigers. I'm just like, yeah, man, I can do this. So
it's in the bag. Dude.
We're gonna get some serious PETA hate mail after this. Like we're gonna.
You think Nat Geo will pick us up?
Nat Geo Wild, like the app, is only going to show us. Well, I'm surprised Shark Week hasn't swooped that idea up, because there's like, dude, people are getting real comfortable with sharks. Like if you've noticed, like every season now of like Shark Week is just someone free swimming with a great white shark. Like there's no fear anymore, like at all, of great white sharks. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like I jump from the sky out of a Black Hawk into the like arena. And I'm just like, if I jump on the dorsal fin of this shark and I almost go Free Willy style, I can get it to submit, try to roll it over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what the sharks do. They dive.
Yeah.
They dive down, and that's how they kill you. So we got to close the bottom of the UFC cage.
I just want there to be a belt given at the end. There's a ceremony underwater.
There's a ref who's just showing the amount of times I pin the shark down and the shark eats me. Yeah. I mean, I'd watch that show. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Dude. It's coming. Copyright.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, on top of besides me watching like all these like crazy Nat Geo like animal wrestling shows on cable, I've been watching I know that you're not really into NASCAR. I'm not super into NASCAR, but I mean I'm just taking whatever sport I can get at this point. Mm-hmm. So right now they're doing virtual NASCAR. So like these dudes are all at home in these little cars that they don't look like cars, but they're like little cockpits where it's like a little it looks like a canoe that they're sitting in, and they have like an realistic game. But it's narrow, like you're in an actual car seat, right? It's not like open, so you can't flare your arms around. And these dudes are on Twitch and they're streaming it as they race each other virtually. And did you see that the dude who did the racial slur?
No. What happened?
This white dude named Kyle Larson, he said the N-word on like a Twitch stream NASCAR race. And the best part about it, well, he got fired. He got let go.
Fired?
He got fired
from who?
He got from the NASCAR company because no, dude, in these races, the cars look exactly like the cars they race in real life. And like, I'm not even joking with you, dude. They got like one of the races I was watching the other day had like 15,000 people watching it. So like, it's almost like a real race. Like there's people are actually still tuning into this, like watching the standings. Like it's pretty intense. And so this dude has a realistic car with his realistic sponsors on it. And the company that sponsors his car is the one that pays for him to sit in this little box and do that. But it was funny to me because this dude, he accidentally said this racial slur. And I guess they don't have cameras inside the NASCARs. So, these guys could all be saying racial slurs and no one could ever know.
Yeah, inside they
have radios so that you can hear their radios. But what a super low stakes way to get fired. Like, so he got fired. Like, he got dropped from his team.
Yeah.
He got dropped from, he'll probably never race again in actual NASCAR racing. His name's Kyle Larson. And how crazy is that? Like, you're on Twitch and you're just fake racing in NASCAR. And
you still manage to fuck it up.
You're like on a quarantine still making NASCAR money and you find a way to screw that. And if you saw a picture of this dude, you'd be like, yeah, this dude should not. It's not even like a dude where you're like, this guy looks like this guy should never say he never looks like he said a swear word in his life. He looks like he was born into Cornell. He looks like
he was homeschooled his whole life.
Yeah, he's clean cut. He's like a little white dude. It's funny, dude. I was watching that actual race and I didn't hear it because I wasn't really paying attention. But then someone went back and the internet went back and was like, yo, dude, you totally said the N-word. And everyone they have to like go back and they're like replaying it. And I'm just like, no way. Dude, it's crazy. 15,000 people.
You know how embarrassed he must be to be telling that story? Like, oh, Kyle, are you still streaming? Are you still working? Yeah, I got fired.
Kyle's
you
wife.
got fired from playing video games? Yeah. Why?
The best part too,
idiot.
Is when I was watching. Like, you gotta be able to think, like, your wife's dad's just like, so how's NASCAR going? Oh, yeah, actually, I don't do that anymore. I work at the Verizon store, but it's really rewarding. Like, I help families figure out their family plan and, like, data issues. I used to, like, race NASCAR, but now I set up tablets for kids. You know,
I used to have 15,000 viewers a day, but now I'll just set you up with your prepaid minutes.
For Cricket Wireless. The best part too is an employer is going to be like, so Kyle,
why'd you leave your last job?
Yeah, used to be a NASCAR driver. So why are you applying to Applebee's? Oh well, I got fired, we just differences. It says here that you used a racial slur. I don't think you can serve tables.
Dude, honestly, he wouldn't even need to ask him why he left. He could literally search his name on the internet, any job, and then he's just screwed.
I also assume any manager that's hiring someone at Applebee's already knows who Kyle Larson is because all he does is watch NASCAR.
God, probably.
The one thing I thought that was kind of funny is I think the internet fooled me. And the internet doesn't usually fool me. Usually, like when I see a shark inside a freeway during a flood, I'm like, that's not real. You almost got me, internet. I think one time I thought it was real. Like I said it out loud. Someone's like, whoa, dude, like that's in Illinois. Like there's no way. You know what I mean? But sometimes the internet gets me good. There was somebody who was like, and they showed a picture of it and it had a bat on the back of the quarter. And it was like, does anyone else think it's weird that the US's new quarter has bats on the back of it? And I like showed that to like 3 people and was like, dude, that's conspiracy, bro. Conspiracy. Like there's bats on the back of the new quarter. And then I was kind of like, you know what? That motherfucker got me. Like, there's no way.
The internet troll won this one, dude.
Well, there's so many different things on the back of quarters now. Like, it just used to be a bird. So when I see something with a bat, honestly, there could be a bat on the back of like Maryland's quarter, and I would have no idea. I don't touch change. Change is for poor people. I don't like when you touch change, you're touching diseases and stuff. That's why people put it in jars. I watch people throw change out the window of their car because people are like, no. So it's just like, I mean, so there could be a bat already on the back of a quarter. I don't even know. Like besides, like I have never looked at the back of quarters to like, how when you were younger, people used to take like the 50, like they had a map that you could like touch.
Yeah. Cause every state's chain, like quarters and stuff looked different. They had different designs on the back for every state.
Yeah. So, but now, I mean, like, one could be a bat. I have no idea. So maybe the internet didn't fool me. They just took it out of context. But I was just like, oh, damn you, internet. You totally got me.
Yeah. Internet 1, Ian 0.
I love showing my grandpa like a shark on a freeway and being like, Grandpa, you were in Vietnam and look at this now. America's falling apart. There's sharks on the freeway. I love showing my grandpa memes and just being like, Grandpa, this is what happened. And it's like some robot is destroying France. And my grandpa's like, I don't think that happened, but that's crazy.
Is that what's going on over in Europe?
I love it too, because they don't have no idea. And the best part is like they always watch like old people always just watch like every episode of CNN. Like they watch like everything on the news, and then I could show them one thing being like, this snake just ate 10 people in this town, and he'd be like, what? That wasn't on CNN, but he totally believes me. Like,
yeah.
I told my grandpa during this COVID-19 thing, I was like, people are fighting people like crazy with spears and stuff at Safeway, and my grandpa's just like, oh my God.
We've just been reduced to sword fighting and like spears.
He's giving me all of his old war memorabilia to like wear to Safeway, like it's got his flap jacket and his helmet.
Ian, it's interesting to see how the government, the different ways the government responds to everything that's going on, and like what they think is necessary steps to, keep the economy running or just keep morale up around the country. I don't know if you saw this, but Florida deemed the WWE an essential business to keep open. I was like, there's nothing better than the government saying Stone Cold Steve Austin just choke slamming Rey Mysterio is about as essential as it gets.
Okay, I've sounded so hick and so southern this episode, but I'm just gonna throw this up to you. Mm-hmm. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rey Mysterio are both retired.
I know. Those are the only. I haven't watched wrestling in years, dude.
I was surprised you didn't go Undertaker there, because that's like the number one Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The best part too is I'm pretty sure they said like to keep the economy stimulated, they like thought that WWE was deemed necessary. So is it just like in Walmart in Florida's now they need to keep those John Cena PJs going, and they got like
the
some
like action figures.
Yeah, they're like the fake WWE belts at the Target like toy section are keeping Florida's government up and running.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Well, the best part about I mean I don't really watch wrestling, but I feel like the best part is the fans. Like when you're like people watching, like it's almost like when you're watching an Monday Night Raw or the WWE, it's almost like being at a theme park because you can people watch and just be like, ugh, but you can see it from your couch. It's like a theme park, but inside an arena, screaming at a woman and a man for not fighting with a referee and a table. You know what I mean?
You're like, don't the wrestlers just play off the crowd so much, like the energy and the vibe, and like they make signs and shit?
It's just like, I don't know if watching a guy spill fake blood on himself in front of a nobody is really going to make me want to watch that.
Yeah, they're just like chair slamming their opponent and like there's no cheers.
That was in Korea. They started baseball back up and they put cardboard people in the stands.
No way.
Yeah. So but it doesn't even look like people. Like it just looks it looks so bad. Like
that's what like the early MLB video games look like, dude. Just cardboard cutouts in the stands because the graphics couldn't handle it.
That's what I picture in the WWE is just like a bunch of cardboard people and then just like some hardcore fans that are paying like hardcore money to sit 6 feet away from each other between all these cardboard people, which they'll do.
Yeah.
People would pay serious money to be in like the first 5 rows, but then have like a cardboard cutout of somebody next to them, like to hear the cheering. Yeah. I love it too. Funny. I bet all the pyrotechnics are still going to go. Like all the flames are going to bring out all that.
Dude, well, what does Monday Night Raw even look like during these times? Like I'm just imagining John Cena in the back. They're doing those like drama scenes in the back halls before they get out into the arena, and John Cena's just talking to Dana White, and he's like, "The Undertaker is going down today," as he just has like a little bottle of Purell he's trying to clean his hands with before he runs out to like amidst fire blazing over the ramp. Like, what does he even look like?
I picture him and like John Cena taking Randy Orton to the woodshed next to the team bus, like in the background, and then he throws him out onto the stage, and there's nobody there, so they've just inserted fake crowds, like in Will and Grace, the show, when there's just fake laughter.
There's a laugh track. There's just a cheer track.
Vince McMahon's doing his walkout, just like screaming to nobody. That's what I picture.
Yeah, an empty arena. Hey man, entertainment's entertainment, I guess.
I mean, honestly, I'm so desperate for sports. I'd probably watch it. Let's just be. If I'm watching crocodile wrestling, I'll watch Rey Mysterio come out of retirement and go against Randy Orton in Hell in the Cell WrestleMania 27 or whatever it is. UFC is also going to go in Florida too. They deemed everything, like all sports in Florida are good now because they've named them essential. I don't know, like people. The
UFC makes sense. Like it's not really crowd based because it's literally just 2 guys fighting. So if you just test both the guys and maybe the coaches aren't even near each other. They're in opposite sides of the octagon. You just have those like, I don't know, 6 people in that room, like the coaches, the ref, and the 2 fighters, and then it's all televised, so you just still pay pay-per-view for it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and then on top of that, the funny thing about the UFC is like I can't see people. Like I said, when I'm watching the WWE, it's just I am more amazed with the WWE that there's a sold-out arena Like a sold out sports arena of people, like with the UFC. I'm just like, oh, dude, people paid way too much for this because I can't. It's all dark, you can't see them. But like, that's what makes like the kid out front with the sign being like, I spent everything my family had for these front row tickets. Like John Cena, please bleed on me. Like, there's just like
I hope I get some of his sweat on my shirt.
Yeah. I don't know why I call every arena Hell in the Cell, but that's like, I saw one wrestling match and like that's all I can think of. It's just the most
WWE shit I've ever heard. Hell in the Cell.
I was seeing in the news yesterday, or I was just poking around the news yesterday, and I saw that story on the how the mob or the mafia is like helping people in Italy. Did you see that?
I did see that. It's crazy.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the mafia just coming over and being like, hey, Italy, I'm going to help the people of Italy because you can't do anything?
Yeah, like, obviously the government is so inept that the mafia has to step in. I think, like, nothing says desperation like accepting help from the mafia, you know? You got to be in a pretty bad place. Because, you know, especially if you live in Italy, no one there doesn't know who the mafia is. You know, no one is ignorant to what they're about. And this article was saying that they're not helping people out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they're gonna expect favors later from anybody who accepts their help. You know, which is like, you should probably know that, but you know, Is that basket of hams worth, you know, the mafia coming back and saying, I need you to hide Giorgio in your upstairs attic for 6 months because he's wanted for murder? I don't know.
Is Giorgio the most mob name you could, like, have you ever heard of? Like, I'm trying to think
of Italian names.
What's the most mob name you could think of? I don't know if it's... I almost said Ratatouille. I thought that Ratatouille for a second was the most mafia name I could think of.
What? Just a Disney character? God.
That's crazy. Yeah, the mob coming back and being like, hey, you're gonna hide Georgina in my upstairs.
Yeah. Don Vito.
The mob god is gonna be in my upstairs. You're gonna have to feed and clothe and take care of the mob god when he's being hunted down by Italy police. Like, I'd probably take the hams.
Yeah. Would you accept their help if you were an Italian?
It depends on my scale of wealth. I would like to assume I had a couple gold chains. I would have. I think. Well, okay. In this situation,
I think those just get given to you as soon as you're born in Italy. They're like, oh, we have a new Italian son, and they just put 3 gold chains on you that have no meaning.
I would own a tracksuit store in Italy. Like, I would have like the sickest tracksuits.
This isn't Russia, dude.
No, dude, it is. Like, I would be just always keeping the mob fresh in tracksuits. I'd be like, oh, I got this new beige tracksuit. Like, they'd be coming in and they'd be like looking on, like they'd just be sitting there. Obviously, like, it would also be a pizzeria. It'd be a pizzeria tracksuit store, like, where I would just be like fitting you. I'd be, you know, because when you put on a tracksuit, it's either too big, too small. They don't fit great because they're, you know, for comfort. So, but mob guys got to run. They got to jump. They got to, you know, I'm assuming in jail they still wear tracksuits because they're the mob. Is the tracksuit the most like well-known mob thing, or would you say gold chains? I would say maybe tracksuits are more Russian, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, and it depends. Like, there's some crossover, but you know, in the Godfather movies, they're like wearing suits. You know, that's classy.
Old school. I'm saying the new school. New school.
Dude,
the new school.
I have no idea what new school mafia looks like.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's tracksuits. It's tracksuits. It's Rolexes, and it's like, I don't know if there's a lot of gator skin. I don't know if there's, you know, but they're
not Hicks.
No, dude, Gator's class, bro. Over there, Gator Skin's class. Yeah, trust me. They have a lot of like their Gator Skin wallets, like, but they're like fancy Italian wallets. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know how it's pretty crazy. Like, I'm imagining what they're actually doing is like little cafes and delis and stuff like that. They're giving them the money to stay open. And so you're like, too. Do I lose my family business or do I get into bed with the mafia? All I'm saying is you got material for a great book. A great autobiography.
How the mob kept me open in 2020.
How I got in and out of the mob.
I would assume that what they do is they just buy like so I'm assuming in Italy, I've never been, but it's just tailored store, meat market, flower shop, croissant factory. Those are like the 4 things on every corner. Yeah, croissant factory, bakery. Yeah, I just
Croissants
pictured like
French.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I just pictured like a really gloomy old school factory just busting out croissants, like people just making croissants constantly. But I'm assuming that he just buys all the meat like the mob does, and they just hand out the meat, to keep you open. I don't I was going to say a meat factory. That's not what I was going to own. I would own a deli. I think it would be pretty cool. And then the mob would come in and you'd put the money in the meat and you'd hand it over the counter and you'd be like, it's a mighty steak. That's how you
move product.
That's how I would move my product is you take 2 flank steaks and you put the money in between the 2 flank steaks. And then you got like the old school butcher's clothes on, but I also have a tracksuit underneath, obviously.
Underneath your meat apron.
My meat apron.
Dude, this is what I'm imagining. I'm imagining like an old school mafia boss from like the 50s coming to look at the operations in Italy now, and like the guys showing him around and he's just like, yeah, don't worry, boss. We're now selling, black market Purell and toilet paper. And he's just like, God, we've fallen so far. Like how not intimidating is the mafia just like moving black market hygiene goods? It's not very threatening anymore.
He opens the old school van up like the back of it, and it's just a bunch of toilet paper, like 1-ply. Yeah. And he's just like, hey.
He's just expecting AK-47s and like cocaine. It's just Purell.
We had 4-ply, boss, but we were going to cut that down to 1-ply. We're going to triple our sales. Like
it's going to be like a janitor's bathroom.
Your butt hasn't seen 4-ply toilet paper in years, man.
In months.
Yeah, you got to buy it from a dealer who's just cutting the 4-ply down to 2 to 1-ply. And speaking of the mob, we're still looking for someone to sponsor the show. So, I mean, since Applebee's hasn't hit us up yet, the mob, we are still looking, bro. We will wear full track suits. We will take care of Johnny the Squealer. Just tell us what you need us to do, and we're in.
Yeah.
Just one day someone sees us, both our hairs are just slicked back, and I've got like 3 chains on, and I'm just running through little Italy, just in LA, just in a fancy car.
We just hang out at Taylor's too much. Yeah. Well, we got a lot of sponsor spots open, so hit us up. Well, I think that's all we got for today on this episode. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Check us out. We're on all of the streaming platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. And that kind of means like iTunes and Apple Music and all the rest of it. And then we're putting videos up on YouTube. So go find us on whichever platform you prefer. Hit us with that like. Leave us a comment. Subscribe. That would really help out the show. And send us your hate mail.
Yeah, thanks everybody for who's checked out the show so far. Thanks for everyone who's subscribed and liked the show. It means a lot to us that so many people have said like good things and have been super supportive of us doing this. We're just trying to give you guys some laughs and trying to, just make an hour go by during this whole thing. And So it's been really cool, the feedback we've gotten so far. And like I said, man, if you guys like and you guys want us to keep doing this, like just please like and subscribe and just show the love. And shout out Steve Frost once again. Didn't like any of our videos. It's just been reminding me over and over again. So shout out my boy Steve.
Yep, Steve Frost. We're going to keep disappointing you by being so willing to join the Mafia. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks, guys.